Hare Krishna, Sumi Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Sri Guru Maharaj, all glories to Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga. Thank you very much, Mataji, for joining every single day and giving your beautiful association and very nice recitation, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Is there anybody else who would like to introduce themselves?
हरे कृष्ण यशोदा माताजी दंडवत प्रणाम शिला प्रभुपाद की जय गुरु महाराज की जय प्रीतिदासी फ्रॉम शार्लोट हरे कृष्णा
Hare Krishna, Priti Dasi, Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Sri Guru Maharaj, all glories to Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga. Thank you very much, Mataji, for joining every single day and giving your very beautiful association in the morning and in the mid-morning japa session. Thank you, Hare Krishna.
हरे कृष्ण माताजी
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, all goes to Srila Prabhupada, all goes to Guru Garanga. Mataji, my name is Priyamvada Radha Priya, I'm from Canada. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna, Priyanda Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Sri Guru Maharaj, all glories to Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga. Thank you very much, Mataji, for joining. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. This is Neetu from Bangalore.
Hare Krishna, Nitu Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Sri Guru Maharaj, all glories to Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga. Thank you very much, Mataji, for joining every single day. Hare Krishna.
Mataji, you can read Srila Prabhupada's book. I'm starting the recording.
Your Mataji. So, welcome to Bhakti Sangha. Welcome to Bhakti Sangha Japa group. Today we start our session for Chaitanya Bhagavat. Before we start, I want to read Srila Prabhupada's quote for today's. December 19th. Oh. 1 second, Mataji. It's gone somewhere. Okay. The secret of surrendering to Krishna.
Sorry, Mataji, please unmute.
Yashomati Mataji.
Yes, Mataji.
Go ahead.
December 19, the secret of surrendering to Krishna is that such surrendered devotee sees that everything is part of Krishna's plan. Whatever is meant to be, I am doing. Let me do it with my full attention to every detail. Let me become absorbed in such service. Never mind what it is. Let all other considerations be forgotten, and only my desire to do the thing best for Krishna's alone pleasure is my motive. Letter to Jai Pataka, December 19, 1972. शिल प्रभुपाद की जय। जगत गुरु शिल प्रभुपाद महाराज की जय। पतित पावन शिल प्रभुपाद महाराज की जय। Hare Krishna. So today we are so fortunate to have Her Grace Radhika Kasturi Devidasi Mataji on the topic of Sri Chaitanya Bhagavat, chapter 19, Madhya Khanda, verses number 19 onwards. So thank you very much, Mataji. Dandavat Pranam. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. All glories to Sri Guru Maharaj. Thank you very much, Mataji, for giving your very valuable time and association to us this morning and enlightening us on this topic. Now I hand over call to you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, thank you. Thank you for the kind introduction. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Let's get started with our prayers. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mahyam Tadati Swapatantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuda Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savatutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakam Vitamsya Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prashtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschayata Deshatarini Namo Mahavatanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratushe Namaha Vanchakalpatarubhyasya Kripa Santubhya Eva Cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Panchatattvatmakam Krishnam Bhaktarupa Swarupakam Bhaktavataram Bhaktakyam Namami Bhaktashaktikam He Krishna Karuna Sindho Deenabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanjana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Thank you, Bhakti Sangha. Thank you, Priti Vilasini Mataji, for giving me this opportunity to speak on Chaitanya Bhagavat, specifically the pastimes of Advaita Acharya. All right. So let's get started, dear devotees. I think yesterday's lecture by Sukasagari Mataji kind of gave you a hint of what we are going to talk about today. So let's get started with that. Before getting on to the verses for today, I thought let me do a recap of what happened and how we got to this point, and then talk about today's subject matter along with the verses. Hope that's okay with you. So there is continuity in what we speak. Okay, so let's get started with the pastimes of Advaita Acharya. Now, for all of us, if we want to understand the reality properly, we should feel that Advaita Acharya was the one who was performing these austerities. When it comes to fasting, taking severe vows of, for years of time, Advaita Acharya, he did, he was just crying out to the mass of people because he was personally concerned about every living individual. And, again, he knew that not only at the present time, but also the future, the age of Kali, he was feeling the pangs of sufferings of the soul, and he was worried what is going on in this age of Kali. He was personally feeling, yes, there is pangs of sufferings of your soul and my soul, and he was weeping and weeping to see each of us individually. And he was able to see the past, present, and the future. What is our condition? What are we bereft of? And then he was crying to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to come down to save all of us. And it was his love and compassion of his prayers that we have been delivered. So he is the seed that actually gave us a chance so we can love Krishna. Years passed, fasting, sacrifices, prayers, and millions of tears. Again, we all know Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, he explains three eternal reasons for Chaitanya's appearance. That is, one is to respond to the call of Advaita Acharya, then to establish the Yuga Dharma of the Nam Sankirtan movement, and then to fulfill the prophecy of Bhagavad Gita that in this age he will come and deliver pious and annihilate the miscreants and re-establish the principles of religion. It is very interesting Because our Srila Prabhupada, he tells us when he was young, he was in a drama and they practiced for this drama for about 1 year, a very serious drama. And he was given the role of Advaita Prabhu. He was just a small boy at that time. And he was given this role of Advaita Prabhu to be crying to Chaitanya to deliver the fallen souls in this age of Kali. Imagine. It was a perfect casting for Srila Prabhupada. The whole life would be to fulfill the same mission of Srila Prabhupada. He dedicated his whole life for that. On the full moon of Falgun, during the lunar eclipse, everyone was chanting the holy names of Hari to counteract the inauspiciousness. And in Shantipur, we see Advaita Prabhu, Haridas Thakur, seeing everyone chanting, they were ecstatic. Let this eclipse last forever. Like that was their thoughts because people were chanting the names of the Lords. And it was the moment that our Supreme Personality of Godhead appeared in the womb of Sachimata. Just like how a moon would emerge from the ocean. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he appeared. Haridas Thakur and Advaita Prabhu felt such joy in their hearts. Even though they were miles away, just from the ecstasy, this ecstasy was just in their hearts. They could tell everyone, yes, the Lord has appeared. And they were mad in ecstasy, dancing, and nobody could understand why. What is this? Sri Advaita Prabhu sent his consort, Sita Thakur Rani, to bring auspicious gifts for the newborn of Sachimata. And when he saw him, he understood the same Gopal who performed the pastimes of Gokul has appeared in this beautiful golden form. We all know how in the early years, Nimai disguised his identity and even hid his mission. He was very restless, he was a mischievous child, he was very bright and apparently a very arrogant student. And Advaita Prabhu and other Vaishnavas, they were praying to Krishna because the Lord covered his real identity so that even Advaita Acharya, Haridas Thakur and others, they were not allowed to be aware that this was the Lord they actually prayed for. It was the Yogamaya potency. They had such attraction for him, but he felt the same experience of being with Krishna in his presence. But at the same time, they felt impossible to be with him because he was always speaking about, the mundane subject matters like grammar, Sanskrit intricacies. He was always challenging them to arguments. And they would pray to Krishna, sometimes day and night, please make Nimai our devotee, a devotee. If he becomes a devotee, then he can make this world into Krishna conscious. They were praying to Krishna and Nimai was receiving those prayers. He was so happy seeing the love of his devotees, right? Shivas Thakur, Advaita Acharya, Haridas Thakur, all these people were having Nama Sankirtan practically day and night, praying to Krishna to make this Nimai a devotee. They all loved him so dearly. And then when Nimai returned from Gaya after initiation from Ishwar Puri, he was the devotee, just like this world has never seen. His absorption in Krishna and the ecstasies he exhibited in the body, they were unparalleled. One day, Gadadhar and Nimai went to Advaita's house. In Advaita, he was worshipping the Lord with Ganges water, tulsi leaves, raising his hands, and he was loudly chanting the holy names of the Lord. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. When Nimai saw Advaita in such a state of ecstatic love, he was moved and he fell unconscious. This was the state. Imagine our Nimai saw Advaita Prabhu chanting the glories of the holy names of the Lord and he felt unconscious. They are having premana, right? When they chant the holy names of the Lord, it's love. It's nothing but unadulterated form of love. And that pure love is what God is attracted to. And that pure love is what everybody longs to have. We being devotees, we all want that pure love. How is it to be felt? when we are able to chant the names of the Lord with that pure love. We can't imagine. That has to be felt, just like how a mango has to be eaten to feel its rasa. Like that, the holy names of the Lord has to be chanted with pure love to be able to kind of feel that. So while he was laying there unconscious, while Nimai was laying there unconscious, Advaita Prabhu looked at Nimai. At that time, Nimai, he was about 18 years old. And Advaita Acharya, he was about 70. He was 52 years older. And he brought all the paraphernalia for worship and began to offer it to Nimai, who was laying unconscious. He started putting sandalwood pulp, tulsi on his lotus feet, offering beautiful prayers. He took the dust of his feet, offering him flowers, and he kind of did the aarti through the 5-pronged ghee lamps. And Gadadhar, who was Nimai's friend, he didn't know what was happening. He said, Advaita Prabhu, see, what is this? He's just a child. Why are you worshipping him? And Advaita Acharya said, when will you give this misconception that he is a child? When will you give this misconception? And at that moment, Gadadhar Pandit understood, no, he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That was the power of Advaita Acharya's conviction. But after that, Advaita Acharya decided that I want to test my Lord. So what did he do? He left to Navadvip and went to his house in Shantipur. Meanwhile, our Vishwambar or our Nimai, he began having kirtan day and night with the Vaishnavas. In fact, that's practically what they did. Just Harinam Sankirtan. Such a high taste they had. Probably all day and night they were just chanting the holy names loudly and they were all together. And it wasn't that, okay, everybody liked this chanting of the holy names of the Lord. Many of them are materialistic people and they hated it. They didn't even care. Then Advaita Prabhu and he also came and he also joined the party. And one day Chaitanya said to Ramai Pandit, go to Shantipur to the house of Advaita and give him this message. Tell him that the person who he prayed for, who he fasted for, who he endured sacrifices for, he cried millions of tears for him. That person has come to deliver the fallen souls of this age by promoting the congregational names of chanting the holy names of the Lord. And Ramai Pandit was like, how will I know where Advaita Prabhu's house is? Chaitanya Prabhu said, you just go, you will find it. He walked from Sri Navadvip to Shantipur, and by Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mercy, he directly went into Advaita Acharya's home. Advaita Acharya, he was immersed in worshipping the Lord when he saw Ramai Pandit. And he said, oh Ramai, you have come with a message for me. What is the message? And Ramai Pandit said, I think you already know my message. He said, you have to come and meet that person in Navadvip. He said, yes, come right now. Advaita Prabhu said, where in the scriptures does it say the Supreme Personality of Godhead is going to take birth in Navadvip to deliver all the fallen souls through the congregational chanting of the holy names of the Lord? Where in the scriptures it is said? You are Ramai Pandit, and you are the brother of Shiva's Thakur. You should know I am that man who accepts things based on Shastra. Where does it say? Tell me, Ramai, tell me. And Ramai remained silent. You already know. Advaita Acharya said, what is the message he has given me? And Ramai said, he has given that message that the person you prayed for, the person you cried for, the person whom you took austerities for, whom you fasted for so many years, for that person has descended and he is here. He is waiting for you and he wants to meet you and your whole family to bring him all the paraphernalia for worship so that you can show your love for him. When Advaita Acharya heard this, he was like, he danced in ecstasy, right? He danced. He was so ecstatic. Sita Thakur Rani and his son Achyutananda, they all wept in ecstasy. Immediately, the whole family began to gather with all the paraphernalia to worship the Lord and brought it to Navadvip. But when they arrived, Advaita Acharya said, I must test to see if my Lord is able to understand my love for him. He said, I'm going to go and hide myself in Nandanacharya's house. Don't tell anyone where I am. I will only come before the Lord if the Lord is going to call for me. So he went to Nandana Acharya's house with his family, and Ramai Pandit came to Shiva Sangan where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is sitting with his devotees. As soon as Ramai Pandit came in the room, Lord Chaitanya, Raj Chaitanya Mahaprabhu recognized Rama is here. I know Advaita Prabhu, the person who called me and woke me up when I was sleeping in this ocean of milk, he is the one who brought me into this world. I now know. He is hiding in the house of Nandanacharya. Tell him I'm waiting for him. So, Lord, is the cause of all causes. How did he not know that our Advaita Prabhu is hiding in Nandanath Acharya's house? So he told Ramai, just go and bring. I'm waiting for him. Go and bring him. Go and bring Advait Prabhu. I'm waiting for him. When Advait Prabhu came, he felt prostrated. He just paid obeisances to the Lord at the feet of Lord Chaitanya. He and his whole family worshipped the Lord with great love and devotion. And from that day, all the Panchatattvas were together. Although Advaita Acharya was the one who brought Chaitanya to this world, he was the last one to actually join the Panchatattvas. This point was, it was something that I understood after hearing Radhanath or His Holiness Radhanath Maharaj's lectures. So he was the one who joined the Panchatattvas last in Nam Sankirtan. And together, sometimes in the house of Chandrasekhar Acharya, sometimes in the house of Shiva, sometimes in the house of Lord Chaitanya himself, Kirtan was always being chanted. For the whole year or the full year, they would have Nama Sankirtan day and night. And as you can understand, even Lord couldn't escape criticism. Though the devotees were saturated in the bliss of these kirtans, the materialistic people around, they couldn't tolerate it. To them, it was a loud noise. And many of them, they were actually great scholars. Some of them, they were very, very wealthy people. Many of them were prestigious Brahmins, but they were envious. So the more Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his devotees gained popularity, more they steamed with envy and more they became vicious. They were spreading propaganda in the house of Shivas that these people, they are doing horrible illicit activities like that. They were actually propagating this message that they were taking drugs, they were taking wine, they were seducing the virgin girls and bringing them to have sex with them. This is what the powerful Brahmins were spreading rumors about. Was there any trace or grain to this truth? They wanted to destroy the reputation of our Lord Chaitanya and his associates. They were threatening. They were kind of making violent threats to the devotees. In fact, when Advaita Acharya was asking for blessing by Lord Chaitanya, he said, the Chandalas, the common women, the common simple people, even the ignorant, give them Krishna Prem. But when it comes to these proud people who are attached to their very high education, their wealth, their prestige, who blaspheme the devotees due to their envy, let them go to hell, my Lord. This was the blessing that Advaita Acharya asked from Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Again, even that is mercy. And one day, Nimai was going to Shiva's Pandit's house when some of these envious Brahmins approached him and said, Ah, Nimai, do you know that so many people are envious of you? So many people hate you? Why? Because you're chanting the holy names of the Lord, that too very loudly. You're creating so much disturbance. You don't even allow people to sleep properly. Can't even sleep because of you. Where in the scriptures does it say do all these things? To dance like a madman, to chant the whole glories of the holy names of the Lord so loudly? Where in the scriptures is it said? In fact, they have already gone to the king. These people, they have gone to the king to complain about you. And he is going to send his soldiers to arrest you. The king wants to talk to you. Okay? And Nimai said, oh, that's very good. That's very good, he said. He said, I have been studying so many scriptures for so many years and nobody wants to talk to me. Now the king wants to talk to me. Wow, I'm taking this as a great opportunity. This is very nice. And this Brahmin, he was telling, he's a Muslim king. He hates you. He's coming to hear you chant the holy names of the Lord. That is what he's coming here for. And he said it with so much hatred and sarcasm to Nimai. And Lord Chaitanya, he just walked away. He went to Shiva's house and said to the devotees, I've been associating with materialistic, envious atheists. Chant the name. Let's have kirtan. I need to be purified. So the kirtan began and Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu started chanting. But then he stopped the kirtan. He said, due to my association with these people, I'm not feeling the ecstasy of God in this kirtan today. I'm not feeling that ecstasy of love of God. You see, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is teaching us what? He was teaching us that performing kirtan, it's just not a ritualistic activity. It is something that we are not doing to show it off to others. It's not something we do simply because we are supposed to do so. It's a feeling. That's what he's saying. I'm not getting that feeling. I'm not getting that feeling of love of Godhead. He's helping us understand that we should feel, we should experience. There should be a total absorption. And that's what makes the Kirtan great. He felt depressed because he was not absorbed in that ecstatic love, right? He was not absorbed. And even though he was chanting the holy names of the Lord, he was not absorbed or he was not feeling ecstatic while chanting the holy names. And he said, I don't feel anything. So let's go back a few days to kind of understand one more scenario. Lord Chaitanya, coming back to Advaita Prabhu, he always treated Advaita Prabhu as his guru. In last class, we saw that. He offered him respects and he was always eager to serve him. But obviously, our Advaita Acharya could not tolerate this. His position was to be the servant of the servant of the servant of the Lord. He didn't want to be honored by the Lord. He didn't want to be served by the Lord. He wanted to be a menial servant of the Lord. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he would actually forcibly take dust off Advaita's feet. And Advaita could not stop him because the Lord is so powerful. It was very difficult for Advaita Prabhu to stop him. One time, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, uh, during the kirtan, it was so ecstatic when he went into swoon and he fell unconscious because of becoming ecstatic in the kirtan. At that time, Advaita Prabhu, he took opportunity to bathe his lotus feet with tears and then he took the dust of his feet and smeared it all over his body. Imagine. Okay? When Lord Chaitanya came from ecstasy, he began dancing again. He said, you know what? I'm not feeling that ecstasy. Did anyone touch me? Did anyone touch my feet? The devotees were afraid to tell Advaita Acharya was the one who touched your feet because he was their leader and they were afraid to lie to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So they didn't know what to do. But Advaita Acharya came forward and he said, when a thief wants to steal someone, if the person is awake and vigilant, the thief waits for this victim to be asleep. Then he is going to plunder on him. He said, you give everybody love of God by giving them a chance to serve you, my Lord, except Shivas and myself. You look at the gardeners, you look at the street sweepers, even the ignorant people, even the people with no caste, you're giving them love of Godhead by allowing them to serve you. Everybody except Shivas and myself. Rather than giving us a chance to serve us, You serve us. Rather than giving us a chance to touch your lotus feet, you touch our feet. Rather than giving a chance, honor and respect you, you glorify us. Therefore, we are unfortunate. Therefore, I have stolen it from you today. Imagine, dear devotees, how much they are longing for Lord's mercy to be a das. And we are taught every day to be dasanu, dasanu, das. But there is this ego that is stopping us every day and telling, oh my God, you are not a das, but you are the master of all. That's our problem. So here, Lord Chaitanya, upon hearing that, he gave a good lesson to Advaita Acharya. He went and took the feet of Advaita Prabhu and he put it right on his head. Advaita was squirming to get away from the situation, but he could not escape. He took those feet and held them for a long time, right over his heart, and he began to glorify Advaita Acharya as his guru, and began to glorify Advaita Acharya as his guru. And on that day, when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was not feeling the ecstasy of love of Godhead, he asked, where is it? And Advaita said, I have stolen it from you because you're not giving to me. And Lord Chaitanya, he was remaining silent for a minute. He ran, broke through the door. The devotees, they were all startled. What is happening? They have never seen the Lord in that state. Advaita had taken the dust from his feet. This is how he reacted. And he ran. And Haridas and Nityananda Prabhu, all of them, they followed him. They saw Lord Chaitanya was about to dive in the Ganges, go underwater. Nityananda Prabhu and Haridas in panic ran and dove right after him. Nityananda Prabhu grabbed Lord's hairs. And we saw, Haridas Thakur grabbed his feet and they pulled him in the bank. Lord Chaitanya looked at them and asked them, why are you pulling me out of Ganges? Nityananda Prabhu said, why did you dive to take your own life? Lord Chaitanya said, because I have no love for Krishna. If I had a drop of love for Krishna, I couldn't live without Krishna. The fact that still I'm living, I have no love for Krishna. He said, what is the value of this human life without love for Krishna? Why are you tormenting me in this way? Nityananda Prabhu said, your own servant, he may have acted inappropriately, but he loves you with his life and soul. My dear Lord, why do you punish us in this way? And Lord Chaitanya said, if you tell anyone you have seen me, you will never see me again. Lord Chaitanya, he went to Nandanacharya's house to hide. Nityananda Prabhu and Haridas Thakur, they went to Shiva Sangan. The devotees they were all devastated. They never saw the Lord in that state, like breaking through the door and then running towards Ganges. They never saw Lord in this state. Where is Chaitanya? Where is our Gaura Sundar? Nityananda and Haridas had to follow Lord's order. No, we have not seen him. We searched. We don't know where he is. All the devotees, they feared the Lord had left the world altogether. He had abandoned them because of their offenses. So besides themselves, their entire consciousness was devastated. It was an utter devastation. And meanwhile, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared at Nandanacharya's house and he was soaking wet. Nandanacharya, he invited him and he gave him just some dry clothes and offered him worship. And Lord Chaitanya said, I want to hide in your house. Nandanacharya said, how is it possible, my lord, for you to hide in my house? He said, you try to hide yourself as the super soul in everyone's heart, but still, age after age, you appear in various incarnations. You try to hide in the ocean of milk, but even you can't hide there. How are you going to hide in my house, in a city steaming with millions of people all around? And Lord Chaitanya said, see, I'm asking you to say, don't tell anyone that I'm here. And he spent the entire time just hearing and chanting the glories of the holy names of Krishna. Nandanacharya worshipped him with pure love. Now, the next morning, Lord knew the heart of each and every devotee. right? He told Nandanacharya, I'm here. I'm in the heart of each and every one of my devotee. He told Nandanacharya, you bring Shivas here, but don't tell anyone I'm here. And because of that reason, Shiva's Pandit came. He saw Lord Chaitanya. And Lord Chaitanya said, how are all the devotees? Especially, how is Advaita Acharya? Shiva said, the devotees, since the time you left, my lord, they cannot eat, they cannot sleep. They are tormented with pain from the core of their hearts. They feel that they have offended you. They feel that you have abandoned them. They are worried that they are not going to see you ever again. They are all simply crying, simply laying on the floor, and they are just crying and crying. Advaita Acharya feels he is the one who is totally responsible for you leaving. He is fasting, he is laying on the ground, weeping constantly. His heart is broken, his mind is devastated. Please save him, my Lord. Please save him. And Lord Chaitanya went right to where Advaita Prabhu was. He said, Advaita Prabhu, I'm here. Come and see me. Advaita Prabhu was so embarrassed, so ashamed that he spoke uh, such whimsically that the Lord was angry with him. All he could do was look at Lord's feet and cry. Lord Chaitanya said, when a king has posted his minister, the minister will have to take taxes from the people. He is the one who has to collect the taxes and give it to the king. The minister will take the taxes from people and give it to the king. And the orders of the king and the gifts of the king, he will deliver it to the people. He is in such a high position. But if the minister engages in sinful activities or offends others, then the king will punish him. Why? Because he is a servant. So, Advaita, in my punishment, I have accepted you as my servant. In my punishment, he says. Imagine, he's just giving this analogy to help us understand that it was his punishment. It's my punishment that I have accepted you as my servant. Advaita Prabhu became very ecstatic. He clapped his hands and danced all over the room. That's all he wanted. He wanted to be the servant of the Lord. But again and again, Lord Mahaprabhu, he honored him and worshipped him. This was so painful for him that once for all he wanted to prove himself to be the servant of the Lord by receiving punishment of the Lord. Now, as devotees, we love to be praised, but we don't love to be punished because being punished is a demeaning position. It is a very belittling position. And this was Advaita Acharya's goal to have the most menial position where he would be punished as a servant. Imagine, dear devotees, that is what he wanted, right? This was what we saw. But how to get that punishment? There has to be the scheme that has to be put into play, right? How do how to get that punishment? He schemed for many days and came to a conclusion. Yes, I can be punished by preaching impersonalism. So Advait Prabhu left Navadvip and went back to Shantipur. He couldn't teach impersonal things to devotees. So he started to recruit new people. And he was preaching from the Yoga Vashishta. Actually, he regularly preached from Yoga Vashishta, which is one of the main books that the impersonalists like to preach from. But Advaita Acharya, every single verse of Yoga Vashishta, he would explain it to glorify the personality of Godhead in the path of bhakti. He was such a master. But in the occasion, he was preaching impersonalism with great enthusiasm. And more people started to come being affected by his preaching. Haridas Thakur, he was watching all of this. He knew the heart of his best friend. He simply laughed at the situation. He was preaching to his students within the scriptures. Our Advaita Prabhu, he was telling Gyan or empirical philosophical speculation is the essence and goal of life. And devotional service, you know what? That is just a subsidiary or dependent on jnana. He said, it's like devotional service is like a mirror and speculative knowledge is like eyes. what's the value of this mirror without the eyes to see it? So, what's the value of devotional service without jnana? That's what he was coming to. Therefore, I declare with all authority that the perfection of life can only be achieved through philosophical deductive knowledge. And devotional service, you know what? That is just a subordinate to this. So through this, he was getting more and more followers. Okay. This news actually came to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who was in Navadvip. He said to Nityananda Prabhu one day, let's go to Shantipur and visit Advaita Prabhu. So they walked on the banks of Ganges. In Lalitpur, they met a Tantrak sannyasi. They jumped into the river and then they swam to Shantipur. They came out of the river wet. Then they approached the house of Advait Prabhu. Advait Prabhu was sitting and giving a lecture on his raised asan. He saw the Lord coming. So he began to preach impersonalism much louder and more dynamic than ever before. Imagine how he changed his tone and how dynamic he was because the Lord was in front of him. Lord Chaitanya could not believe what he was hearing. He cried out, Advaita, what are you speaking? What are you doing? I have a question for you. Advaita was so empowered with enthusiasm. He said, what is your question? Lord was asking, of the two, devotional service or speculative knowledge, what do you think is superior? Advaita? Advaita Prabhu, with a loud voice, low, roaring like a lion, cried out, of the two, my lord, speculative knowledge is always superior. Devotional service is always subordinate. And Lord Chaitanya, he became so mad. He ran up to the stage in front of all his students, in front of Advaita's own wife and son. He dragged Advaita down from the stage onto the ground and pushed him onto the ground and started beating him. Everyone was shocked. Haridas was shocked. Nityananda Prabhu was laughing. Sita Thakurani, who's the wife of Advaita Prabhu, was crying. He's an old man, my lord. Why are you going to, you're going to kill him. Please spare his life. He's just an old Brahmin. Don't beat him. Lord Chaitanya did not hear a word. He just kept beating him. And finally, he sat down and said, Advaita, what have you done? I was sleeping peacefully in the ocean of milk, and you brought me down into this world exclusively to the mission, to fulfill this mission of spreading pure devotional service. What are you doing now? So, this is where our set of verses come in. Let's read these verses and also see the translation of these verses. I think now the context is more clear. What is happening, right? We are left with this question. Why did you bring me to this world to spread pure devotional service? I was sleeping peacefully, right? And why did you bring me to this world? To fulfill the mission of spreading this pure devotional service. Why did you? That's the question that was asked by our Lord. Let's read today's set of verses from verse 19, Chaitanya Bhagavat Madhya Kanda. Karya Lakshyakari Grihite Aila Asiya Manasa Mantra Padite Lagila. He came home on the pretext of some work and he contemplated his resolution. Niravadi Bhavivisha Dole Mata Haya Vakena Vashishta Shastra Jnana Prakashiya. Intoxicated with ecstasy, he constantly swayed back and forth as he glorified Jnana while commenting on the book named Yoga Vashishta. Our commentary by Gaudiya Bhashya by Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, it says, while explaining the non-devotional Mayavadi book named Yoga Vashishta, Sri Advaita Prabhu made a show of aversion to the path of devotional service. His purpose was to obstruct Mahaprabhu's preaching of devotional service, so he, Gaura, would punish him, Advaita, rather than worship him. Imagine, this is the mood of a devotee. He wants to be called Dasanu Dasanu Das. He doesn't like to be honored by the Lord, but he just wants to be a menial servant of the Lord. To fulfill that, he has to do something because the Lord was honoring him over and over again, and he didn't like that. That is why he did what he did. Okay. Jnana vina ki ba shakti tare Vishnu bhakti atayeva sabra prana jnana sharva shakti. Without jnana, what power does devotional service to Vishnu have? Therefore, jnana has all the potency and it is the life of all. Like that says Advaita Prabhu. And then our commentary by Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur says, without jnana, in the form of cultivation of impersonal Brahman, devotional service to Vishnu cannot have any potency. Jnana is the life of devotional service. Jnana is full of all these potencies. Giving up such impersonal jnana is giving up the wealth in one's own home and searching for wealth in the forest where it is not available. So he's compared. So the commentary says giving up such impersonal jnana is like giving up wealth in your own home and then going and searching for it in the forest where it is not available. That is the potency of jnana. So you can't, it's something that it's full of potency. It's like wealth. That is the comparison that is made. He's praising jnana like anything. Okay. And then हीन ज्ञान न बूझिए कोन कोन जान गारे धन हरिया चाहे ज्ञान. One who does not understand such jnana is comparable to a person who leaves his wealth at home and then searches for it in the forest. So that's the point. So this is all going to aggravate Lord, right? Seeing Advaita preach impersonalism like this, Lord is going to get angry, and with this anger, he is going to obviously beat Advaita Prabhu, and that is what he wanted. Vishnu Bhakti Darpana Lochana Haya Jnana Chakshuhina Jnanera Darpane Kona Kama. Devotional service to Vishnu is like mirror, while jnana is like eyes. What is the use of a mirror if one has no eyes? We spoke about it, right? So our Acharya's commentary says devotional service to Vishnu is like a mirror. But if one is not endowed with the eyes in the form of jnana, then what is the use of devotional service, or what is the use of mirror? If there are no eyes, then what is the use for a mirror? That's 23rd verse. आदियन्तमि पडिलाम सर्वशास्त्र भुजिलाम सर्व अभिप्राय ज्ञानमात्र. I have studied all the scriptures from beginning to end and come to this conclusion that jnana is the essence of everything. After studying all the scriptures from beginning to end, I have understood that jnana is the supreme. That is what our Acharya commentary says. That's verse number 24. 25, dear devotees. Advaita charitra bhala bhujiya haridhasa avyakhyana suniya maha attahasa. Haridasa knew very well the characteristics of Advaita. Therefore, on hearing this explanation, he laughed loudly. That's what we saw. Haridas, he didn't worry about it. He was laughing. He knew his friend's heart. He knew that. And he was not worried about it at all. एहि मत अद्वैतर चरित्र घात सुकृतिर भाल दुष्कृतिर कार्यवाद. Such are the unfathomable characteristics of Advaita Prabhu. They are auspicious for the devotees and impediments for the miscreants. Our Acharya says, those who were fortunate understood the characteristics of devotee Advaita Prabhu, and thus they realized the supremacy of devotional service to the Lord. Those who were unfortunate and sinful, they could not understand the purpose of Advaita Prabhu, and they attained inauspiciousness by accepting the impersonal jnana as superior to devotional service. They obtained the impediments in the path of progress. So, dear devotees, he was preaching to get the highest of devotional service. That was his mood. And what is the contrast here? Those who are fortunate, they understood. Yes, Advaita Acharya's mood and mentality and what he is up to, they understood. And they all understood, yes, see, look at the supremacy of devotional service to the Lord. In order to get devotion to the Lord, how he's doing what he's doing. There were also others who were unfortunate. They could not understand what the purpose for Advaita Prabhu speaking like this meant. They accepted, oh, yeah, jnana is the highest form, superior to even devotional service. They accepted that. And again, we all know that jnana has its own impediments to attain in the path of progress. It's not an easy thing. So that's what it is. The commentary of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur says. Sarvavancha kalpataru prabhu Vishwambhara Advaita sankalpa chitta haila gochara. Lord Vishwambhara is like a desire tree that fulfills everyone's desire. Therefore, he understood Advaita's resolution. Mahaprabhu, he is the original source of fulfillment for everybody's desires. Therefore, he could certainly understand the internal mood of Advaita. When Advaita Prabhu saw the Lord and offered him respect, despite his endeavor to serve Mahaprabhu with his mind, body, and speech, than to counteract the situation, he made a show of establishing bhakti as less enlightening by giving more importance to jnana. So this is what he did, dear devotees. And I would leave the surprise for others, the other speaker, to continue through the rest of what the story is meant to do. And now Advaita Prabhu will be revealing from his heart what it meant. Of course, the Lord knows Advaita Prabhu's desires, but then Advaita will clarify that to the Lord. So now, as you all know, the Lord cares for his devotees so much. He mentioned that anyone who wants to approach the Supreme Lord, they have to do so by serving the devotees. Advait Prabhu, you are so dear to me. And if you give your mercy to anyone, I'm going to deliver them. But if anybody is going to offend you, then I have no power to deliver them. He also told the story of Durvasa Muni and Amrish Maharaj. Even the Lord cannot deliver anyone who offends a Vaishnava. Only through the forgiveness of a Vaishnava can the Lord deliver them. Lord Chaitanya then raised both of his arms and then very loudly began to call out the holy names of the Lord. That if someone is chanting out the names of the holy names of the Lord, but if he is going to offend a Vaishnava, then my very name will destroy them. That is the power, dear devotees. We cannot judge any devotee, please. That's something that's out of our control. We cannot. We are not supposed to. It's between them and Krishna. You don't know who is a devotee. When it comes to the gradings, we are not supposed to be judging them. Oh, he's a Madhyama, he's a Kanishta, he's this, he's that. No. Let's avoid doing that. Because the very fact when you are offending a Vaishnava, that name is going to destroy them. Even the chanting of the holy names, even worshipping the Supreme Lord cannot deliver a person who offends Vaishnavas. And then he cries out, don't criticize others. Don't criticize others. Chant the name of Krishna, then Lord will deliver you. That was Lord's message to the whole world. Don't offend devotees. Don't criticize others and then chant the holy name. This was one of the very big lessons that we learned through this pastime. So like this, Advait Prabhu had so many instances. So when Lord Chaitanya left Navadvip, he told the story of Vaishnava who was going to the Ganges. Lord Chaitanya, he left Navadvip to take sannyas, and Advait Prabhu was approached by all the Vaishnavas for shelter because he was their leader. He said, if the Lord has left us, I am going to Ganges and drown myself and take my life. And if you're going to stop me, dear devotees, then I'll go at the night when you're asleep. And devotees, they said to Advait Prabhu, see, we are not going to stop you. We are going to be with you. They all went to Ganges for this purpose. And when they reached Ganges, a celestial voice spoke to Advait Prabhu that very soon Gauranga will be in your association. He will come to you. So just be patient. Advait Prabhu, hearing this message, he transmitted that message to the devotees and then gave them hope and life. So many such wonderful instances, dear devotees. There was instance when Nityananda Prabhu, how he redirected Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, took them to Advait Prabhu's house. That's a beautiful instance. And like this, there are tons of experiences and pastimes that our Chaitanya Charitamrita has given to us. All we have to do is just relish it and then take it to our heart and then understand Gauranga's mercy. Because this is a very rare thing that in this age of Kali, we are able to chant the glories of the holy names of the Lord and be able to understand and relish these pastimes given to us by Srila Prabhupada and our Acharyas. So let's make the best use of what we have and then hear from our spiritual master, hear from all the speakers and relish it thoroughly. So with this, we will conclude today's lectures, dear devotees. And again, I have to thank Bhakti Sangha for giving me this opportunity to speak wonderful katha on Chaitanya Bhagavat. Thank you. वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासन्तुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। नामाचार्य श्रील हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to my spiritual master. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Mataji, Dandavat Pranams. Thank you so much for the very, very beautiful class. I really like the way you recapped everything and you brought forward all the activities of Advaita Acharya. Thank you so much, Mataji. Mataji, just want to confirm you stopped at 27, right?
Correct, Mataji. I stopped at 27.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you for your association. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. I still remember the time when I came to get an autograph from you in the event, Sadhu Sangha event, Mataji. I'm still a very big fan of yours. And thank you so much, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Not worthy of all that respect. Thank you.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Radhika Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. What a beautiful class. Thank you so much for the lovely recap. And then I like that point that said, what is the use of a mirror without eyes? Right? That was kind of interesting. Thank you so much. And always I see in all your classes, you have so much love for chanting the holy names of the Lord. And almost in every class, at the end, you emphasize that with so much love. So we are all praying that we are also able to absorb a little bit of that mood. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the very beautiful class. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Each and every time I have to tell this, without Preeti Mataji's, I'm just nowhere. I didn't even know I was able to say a few words or speak Katha, Krishna Katha. It was just Preeti Mataji and Vinita Mataji's mercy that I'm given that opportunity to speak Krishna Katha. So I am very humbled always. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Radhika Kasturi Mataji. Wonderful class. Very, very nice story, Mataji. You were telling we get absorbed in that story. It's so nice how Advaita Acharya was doing on purpose to get the mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. I thought it's like mirror is like a Jnana and eyes are the devotional service, but he's saying exactly opposite. So that was really amazing, Mataji. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you. Your voice is always so sweet, like how you are. I appreciate it, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. Such a nice and wonderful class, Mataji. How you narrated all enthusiastically. I love that class because always, as usual, you are doing your, you're explaining things and reading things very nicely, Mataji. And how you explain the Advaita Acharya's, how he want the punishment from the Lord, how he want the dust of the feet of the Lord. So how he does the Mayavadi philosophy, like so because Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he doesn't like Mayavad. So he did like that. So he get punished by him, and then he can get the mercy by the Lord. Very nice, Mataji. So much
true.
good pastime. Very nicely you narrated, and so
My
many things.
mercy, Mataji.
So many things you told about this pastime, that we should never judge, we should never criticize the people, we should never offend the Vaishnavas, because outside how they are and inside what they are, you don't know, right? So
Yeah.
it's very,
Yes.
very nice, Mataji, to take away points for everyone and for me too. That's what I can say. So thank you, Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji, for patiently listening. I totally appreciate it, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Mataji, you have time?
Yes, Mataji.
If anybody, dear devotees, if anybody have any question or realization, you can go ahead.
Dandavat Pranam Mataji. This is Prabhupada last Haribol Mata.
Hari bol, Prabhuji.
Yeah. Okay, it was a very nice class, and some slokas came to my mind about the impersonalism. I just would like, everyone knows
Sure.
this. Bhagavad Gita says, "Kleso adhiktarasya sam
Namaste.
avyakta asakti." And again, he says, "Gnane prayasam utpasya namanteva jivan sanmukrita bhavadiyavata." Okay? Also, Brahmaji says, "Sre smritim bhakti mudasyate pro klishyanti keval bodh labde." So all these are so nicely integrated in today's lecture. So I was just enjoying the lecture so much. Dandavat Pranam Mataji. Haribol. Haribol to
Dandavat
everyone.
pranams, Prabhuji. Your knowledge of Shastras and your connection always, every class I come to and listen, it's just amazing, Prabhuji. I really, I'm glad to have been associated with you, and I definitely cherish the moments, Prabhuji. I'll never forget it in my life. The interactions, the kind of exchanges that we've had. I'm very blessed, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Dandavat Pranam Mata.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. If there is nobody, then can we end the call, Mataji?
Yes, Prabhuji. Yes, Mataji.
Okay. Thank you very much, Mataji, for this today's very, very beautiful pastime of Lord Advaita, Lord Mahaprabhu and Advaita Acharya's pastime. And we are very, very grateful to you. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to your services. We look forward to your association again in future, Mataji. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo
Namo
namaha.
Namaha.
अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय, श्री चैतन्य भागवत की जय, शील प्रभुपाद की जय,
Jai.
हर ग्रेस राधिका कस्तूरी माता जी की जय।
Jai.
बोल हरे कृष्ण माता जी, दंडवत प्रणाम।
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, everyone. See you all soon again. Hare Krishna.
हरे
All
कृष्ण,
glories to the
Mataji,
assembled
Dandavat Pranam.
devotees. Hare Krishna.
हरे कृष्ण।
Thank you, dear devotees. So we'll end our